Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Convince with Lawyer Vince. Today, we're breaking down one of the quietest but strongest skills in communication, the power of saying less. And I know, silence doesn't sound powerful. Most people think the person who talks the most is the most confident. But here's the truth. Confident people don't compete for space, they create it. And silence is how they do it. So if you struggle with overthinking, rambling when you're anxious, if you defend yourself too quickly, or feel like people talk over you, this episode is going to shift that completely. By the end, you'll learn how silence can calm heated conversations, create boundaries without confrontation, shut down disrespect, and make people listen to you differently and give you control of the tone, the pace, and the outcome. Let's dive in. Let's start with why silence works. Silence is calm. And calm is contagious. Silence does something automatic to people. It forces them to slow down. It brings the conversation back to neutral, and it signals control. Here's what confident people understand about silence that most people don't. Number one, silence removes urgency. When you pause, you're telling their nervous system, this isn't an emergency. We can handle this. See, aggressive people, they rush you. They want you off balance. Silence breaks that pattern. Number two, silence shows you're not emotionally hijacked. See, most arguments come from reactivity, not clarity. Pausing shows maturity. It shows intention, and it shows control. Number three, silence makes your words land even harder. See, when you speak fast, people forget half of it. And when you say less, people will remember more. Let me tell you about a former client of mine. We'll call him Marcus. See, Marcus, he worked in sales. Super high pressure. It was a very fast-paced work environment. And his boss was so intense, borderline aggressive. And every time Marcus gave an update, his boss hit him with just super rapid fire questions. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you think of that? Did you even try this, right? And Marcus's instinct was to defend himself. And he found himself over-explaining, talking fast because he felt rushed. And the more he talked, the less respect he got. So I taught him one skill, the confident pause. Next meeting, the same scenario. His boss challenges him. So Marcus, what he does this time is he stays silent. He counts 3 seconds, then calmly says, I want to make sure I answer this clearly. Here's what happened. Everything changed. The boss slowed down, listened, adjusted his tone. Silence didn't make Marcus small, it made him steady. Now, let's talk about the 4 types of silence that confident people use. So we can break it down like this. Number 1, the reset silence. This is used when the emotions are high, right? You pause, you breathe, and you let the heat drop before you speak. You can say something like, I'm going to respond. I just want a moment to process. The second is the clarifying silence. You use this when someone says something unclear, maybe manipulative or reactive. You don't rush to answer, so you let the silence push them into clarity. What you say is, help me understand what you mean, and then stay silent. People will either clarify or they'll expose themselves. The third is the boundary silence. This is used when someone tries to pull you into an argument. What you want to do is you want to acknowledge and then pause. You want to say something like, I hear what you're saying, and then stop there. You're not agreeing. You're not fighting. You're refusing to get dragged into chaos. The fourth is the anchor silence. You use this after you already set a boundary. This sounds like, that doesn't work for me. Then silence. Most people ruin their boundary by explaining it. Confident people, they state the boundary and then they stop talking. The silence anchors it. So let's put this into a real life situation. Someone talks over you and you might think, how can silence help when someone's talking over you, right? But here's what you do. You stop, hold silence, then you calmly say something like, I'll finish once you're done. It's controlled, neutral, respected. I'll finish once you're done. Here's another scenario. Someone's fishing for drama and they say, so what did you really mean by that? You pause, then say, let's keep the conversation direct. The third scenario is maybe when they demand an explanation that you don't even know. They say, why would you do that? Then you say, what I shared is what I'm comfortable sharing. Then pause. See, silence closes the door without slamming it. Another scenario could be when someone tries to speed up the conversation, right? They say, just answer the question. Then I want you to say, I will. Let me think for a second. Then just pause and reclaim your voice, okay? And here's a bonus tip. Silence is twice as powerful when your body language is also calm. So here's how you reinforce it. Keep your shoulders relaxed. No tension. Don't be defensive, right? Slow down your breathing. If your breath is calm, your presence is calm. Maintain gentle eye contact, not a stare, but just steady. And then this communicates that you're grounded. You can't be shaking. Now, here's some lines that we can work on that kind of work well beautifully with silence. I hear you. I'm thinking. Or here's what I can share. Or even better, that's not going to work for me. Let's slow this down. Or you can say, I'm comfortable with my decision. Can you clarify what you meant? Or I'm not going into details. See, all these, you say the line, then pause. Confidence lives in the pause. Remember that. Okay, now we're going to my favorite section, the Q&A from the newsletter. So a quick reminder, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. The link is in the description, and you can email me your questions to get featured in future episodes. So let's get into it. Question 1, Vince, how do I hold a boundary with my mom who constantly gives unsolicited advice? I don't want to be rude, but every time I set a limit, she gets emotional and says I'm pushing her away. I especially need help with this with Thanksgiving coming up. What's the right phrase for that dynamic? A lot of people deal with this, especially with parents, and especially around the holidays, we're all getting together. But the important thing to remember is this. Your mom's intent is connection, but the impact on you is pressure. And this is where most people get stuck. They don't want to break the bond, but they also don't want to feel suffocated, right? But here's a mindset shift. You're not rejecting her, you're guiding how she can love you in a way that actually supports you. So here's a phrase that keeps that respect and keeps the closeness, but protects your boundary. You can say, Mom, I love that you want to help. Before you give advice, can you check in with me first? Sometimes I just need someone to listen. This line does 3 things. 1, it acknowledged her heart. She wants to help. You're giving her credit for that. And 2, it sets a gentle boundary. Check in with me first, right? That's respectful, not confrontational. 3, it gives her a role. You're telling her how to show up for you, which most moms actually want. Now, let's talk about the emotional pushback, because when a mom says, you're pushing me away, she's not attacking you. She's afraid of losing access to you. So here's what you say to calm that fear while still holding your line. You can say something like, you're not losing me. I'm just asking for support in a way that feels good for both of us. This reassures her and anchors the boundary at the same time. And since you mentioned Thanksgiving, here's a specific holiday version that you can use. Mom, I really want Thanksgiving to feel peaceful for both of us. If you have advice today, can you ask me first before jumping in? I promise I'll tell you what I need. It's warm, it's respectful, and it's clear. This is how you protect a relationship and your peace without guilt, without disrespect, and without letting the holiday turn into emotional chaos. Okay, second question. Vince, how do I respond when someone keeps interrupting me mid-sentence, especially in group settings? I freeze up because I don't want to come off aggressive. This is a great question, and it connects perfectly to what we talked about in this episode. When someone interrupts you, your instinct is to speed up, right? Talk louder or just give up and let them have the floor. But here's the truth. Interruptions only exist because silence makes you uncomfortable. And confident communication is about letting silence work for you instead of against you. So let's break this down using this silence tactic. Step 1, stop talking. Literally, stop mid-word if you have to. This is the first silence. Okay, it's not dramatic. You're not being passive aggressive. I just want stillness. When you fall silent, right as they interrupt you, something important happens. The room becomes aware of the interruption before you even say a word. See, people naturally turn toward a person who cuts you off. The social pressure starts working in your favor. Silence resets the room without you lifting a finger. The second step, use a reset line. One sentence that's calm and clear. Here's a line that I want you to use. I'll finish my point, then I'll come back to you. And then silence again. That second silence is the anchor. It tells the interrupter, I'm not rushing. I'm not competing. I'm not surrendering. You're holding the floor with calm authority. The third step, continue exactly where you left off. No apology or no explanation needed, all right? This is crucial. Don't say, sorry, what I was saying was, or let me get back to my point. Don't restart your sentence. Just pick up mid-thought, all right? Signals, I didn't lose my position here. You didn't derail me. That's power. And then fourth, if they interrupt again, I want you to use, this is, I guess, more of an advanced silence tactic. Just look at them, pause for 2 seconds, make soft eye contact, and say, let me finish this thought. Then I'm happy to hear yours. This phrase is firm but fair. It also shows the group and the interrupter that you're not threatened, you're not emotional, you're committed to structure, right? You're not fighting for dominance, you're inviting collaboration, right? After you finish. All right. Question number 3. What's the best way to tell my partner I need space during arguments? They think I'm avoiding the conversation, but I actually need time to calm down. The biggest issue here isn't the space, it's the fear behind the space. See, when you pull back without explanation, your partner feels abandoned, right? When you explain the purpose of the pause, that's when they feel protected. You have to make the break feel intentional, not avoidant. So here's a line that does that. You can say, I'm not walking away from the conversation. I'm walking away from the heat so I can come back calm and clear. I want this to go well, not fast. This works because 1, it reassures them you're not shutting the conversation down. And 2, it names the real issue, the intensity, not the relationship. And 3, it frames the pause as care, not punishment. And 4th, it shows commitment to resolving things the right way. If you want to give them even more clarity, add, give me 20 minutes to reset and I'll come back ready to talk. That creates structure and safety. They know when the conversation will continue, so they don't spiral. And if they still worry, you can soften it with saying, I'm doing this so I can show up better for us, not because I'm done talking. It's short, direct, reassuring. And remember, asking for space isn't avoiding the relationship. It's protecting the quality of the conversation. All right, question number 4. Vince, how do you deal with people who use jokes to say disrespectful things? I never know how to call it out without looking too sensitive. The trick is to treat the joke like a serious comment. Don't argue about humor, address the impact. All right, what I want you to say is, that was a joke. It didn't land for me. Let's keep it respectful. It's short, neutral, and unshakable. They either adjust or they expose themselves. All right, question 5. Hi, do you have tips for writing a year-end self-comment when your manager is a bully, steals credit, and blocks development opportunities? And how do you navigate a review with someone who's nasty privately but acts nice in group settings? This is one of the hardest workplace situations because you can't fight a political game with emotion. You fight it with documentation and neutral clarity. For the self-evaluation, don't mention their behavior directly. Don't complain. Don't hint at conflict. Focus on your contributions, your measurable wins, and your initiative. So use this structure. You can say what you accomplished, right? The impact on the team or the company, the skills that you demonstrated, and what you're committed to developing next year. And at the end, include this line. I'm committed to continued growth and open collaboration with leadership to ensure that my skills are being used at their highest level. It signals that you want opportunity. And if you're not getting it, the issue is not you, right? For the actual review meeting, your goal is to stay calm, factual, and direct. If they go negative or bully you, use this line. I want to make sure this feedback is accurate and actionable. Could you give a specific example of what you mean? See, bullies, they hate evidence. It forces them out of emotion and into facts. If they take credit for your work, this is what you say. To keep things clear, I'll speak to the parts I directly contributed to. If they flip personalities in group settings, that's fine. Your composure exposes that split more than anything else, all right? And end with this. Thanks for the feedback. I'll document these action items and follow up in writing. That line alone stops 90% of abusive managers because what they fear most is a paper trail. Here's your challenge for this week. Think of one recent moment where you felt pressure to react fast, or you felt pushed to explain yourself. Write down the one sentence you wish you said. Calm, clear, just one line, all right? And then say it out loud 3 times until it feels natural. That's how you train your voice to match your confidence. If this episode helped you, subscribe, like the video, join the newsletter, drop a comment that says silence is strength, so I know you made it to the end. I'm Lawyer Vince. This has been How to Convince. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, confidence isn't loud, it's intentional. I'll see you same time next week.